After 2 weeks of crime fighting on her own, and no contact or interaction with night shadows since that sorrowful day, Nightingale leapt from the nearby building over an alley, and through the smoke filling it, and expertly landed on the roof of its neighbor. She sprinted faster than she knew she could until she stopped at the massive oversized water tower on top of the building. She immediately grabbed the handle and began turning with all of her might to release the water upon the burning building's roof. It would help, hopefully. But her hands began to burn from the heated metal. She yanked them off and looked down. The supports for the water tower were red hot. The roof beneath her now was hot enough that she could feel it through her boots. The tower suddenly began to lean toward her. Nightingale saw it, and a scream left her mouth as the tower's supports quickly twisted and buckled. It started to fall down, the metal bending away to crush her. This was the end. She reached up to stop it, knowing it was futile, but ready to at least try. Then it stopped with a slam. She looked up. It had stopped, and her hands did indeed hold it. But wait, there was a third hand. She turned her head, looking back, and saw in the smoke an arm attached to the hand, and a shoulder, and a torso, and a head. But the face was concealed in shadow of the fading sun and all the smoke and haze around them. Her eyes began to water from the smoke. The arm strained but pushed back. The water tower leaned to horizontal on the arm and began to buckle under the strain. But another black-clad hand grabbed the lip of the roof of the water tower and pulled. The metal groaned and strained, as did the roof. So instead a fist smashed a hole in the side, and water burst forth. It dumped all over the roof, filling it high with water. The water fell to all sides, but the roof suddenly broke through. Another scream. It was hers again. But a hand on her arm stopped her, and held her up from the flames that reached for her below. But the arms, the body they were attached to, they didn't have anywhere to stand. But now they were on the side of the building again, and now on the neighboring one, and suddenly she was standing alone, and the red and blue-clad watery blur was gone, and the building was left smoking from the sudden drowning of water. She stared, unable to think. What just happened?
I'm telling you, it all happened. It was real.
The cameras saw none of it, Kathy. You're just believing the news and fantastic versions of stories told on the news by tripping hobos and drunkards, drug addicts in alleys, and people looking for ratings. There was too much smoke, and the oxygen deprivation may have caused you to hallucinate and dream what you wanted to think was real from what you heard.
She looked at him, and then into space, somewhat hurt, questioning herself and what she saw.
But I did see someone, and they did.
Kathy, no hero has ever had superpowers. That's just a thing in comic books, and movies and cartoons. It's impossible anyway. You know the physics.
She looked even more hurt. Shadow knew he may have overspoken. There was a long silence in the air.
Okay, so maybe it did happen, but it can be explained with technology. An exoskeleton like the ones the military are building, and a small jetpack like the ones we've had since the 70s. Add to that a breath mask to get past the smoke and a vocalizer, and there you have it. One hovering rescuer.
Thanks.
She finally acquiesced. At least he believed her that it did happen.
Now, until then, we need to
figure out who it is,
she finished.
No, you need to get back to your training and get some oxygen in your cramped muscles. Blue isn't out there anymore, and if I even begin to go along with your crazed idea to fight crime alone, you will have to do exactly as I say, just as Adam did as I prepared him.
But you have been preparing me.
Not as I did him when he was here alone before you. That's why he was so advanced before you came along. It wasn't so much solely because he started sooner, but rather because he was alone out there. The danger level was too great for experience to be gained mostly in the field.
Her mouth fell at the corner.
From now on, expect things to be hard, your lifting regimen to be strict, your diet harder, with more and more food intake, and the dangers I prepare you for more extreme.
Silence fell between them both.
I'm not going to let another hero I train die before I do,
he said under his breath, between them, with the different layers of all his years of experience and emotion rolling into one sentence that spoke more with its expression and tone than did the words themselves. And then he marched back up the stairs and left her alone once more.